Welcome to this very special digital presentation by Hispanic Lifestyle, Latina Conference 2020, Connecting Latinas of Influence. We are proud to have the sponsored support of Wells Fargo Bank, Riverside County Economic Development Agency, Coca-Cola, the Small Business Development Corporation of Orange County, Inland Empire Health Plan, and Goya Foods. Our program and the complete listing of Hispanic Lifestyles 2020 Latinas of Influence can be found on our website, HispanicLifestyle.com. When you post on social media, please use the hashtag Latina Conference 2020.
My name is Katherine Garces. I'm an activist representing my Latino community. As a community, whether you are Latino or you are any race or any community, when you begin with a dream, I was taught that there's so many things that are going to be lashed at you. Nobody's going to believe. But I think that if you believe it in your heart and that passion that will drive you to take that business to another level, no one can take that away from you. You know, I had an interview with someone in a huge corporate position, and I was competing against this position years ago. And the man that did the interview for me at the end said to me, you know, Katherine, there's still a lot of things you need to learn about this position, but there's something that I cannot teach you, and that's your passion. And that's your total heart that you're giving when you're talking to me, that you study this position, you study what you came for, you know you're prepared. And you may not know a lot of things that I need you to know for this position, but because of your passion and the fact that you don't say no, and the fact that you're gonna fight and be there and try to make this project fulfill, I think you're the right person for this project. So to me, that linked in my head all the advice that I was getting when I was growing up. You know, my father led a very successful business, importing, exporting, you know, and I learned from him too. When things went wrong, I saw him and I'm going, oh my gosh, you know, there's this shipment going to 3 different countries, and all of a sudden he has to pick the phone and tell his clients it's not going. You know, my father would always say, no le pares bola, means pay no mind, we got this. Don't think about what happened in the tragedy, think about the solution. If you get stuck in the tragedy, you're not going to find a solution because you're still in a negative, you're selling in a negative situation.
Hi, my name is Dr. Cristina Grinnell. I work for UC Riverside School of Medicine. I'm the director of the Academic Success Programs. So what does that mean? That means that I help our medical students at UC Riverside become future doctors. So I work a lot of one-on-ones, kind of as a learning specialist. I help our students to meet each and every goal, whether it's in their coursework or preparing for their boards. I'm blessed, I'm lucky to get to do the job I do, to work at UC Riverside. Like I said, it was coming home to work there and to have such a wonderful family. And I really, really thank my students, because in this upside down time with COVID, people ask me, how do you do it? I've been back-to-back meetings, sometimes 10 to 13 student appointments a day, right? One-to-one Zoom back, 30 minutes. But they've kept life normal for me, because for us, it's no different. We're right in the thick of it, we're dedicated. I have the best job working with the students because everyone's different and we get to laugh, and it's super sad to not have graduation, to be able to, after going through this journey with them, to not be able to hug them and meet their parents and do things traditionally. So I look forward to hopefully 2021, where we'll be able to have things back to be able to really celebrate those opportunities. So I thank my husband for being able to allow the work that we do at the School of Medicine to really be highlighted, because it's, if nothing else, COVID has shown across the country that the physician shortage is dire, and here in the Inland Empire in particular. So you see our School of Medicine is just part of that one little piece of that process, right? We need more, obviously, nurses and PAs, and right, this crisis has shown us exactly what we need. And I'm just really happy and blessed to be part of that mission.
Hello, my name is Denise Campos, and I'm a public affairs manager at SoCalGas. SoCalGas is a huge company, so to be a Latina, getting your foot in the door in the corporate side and to learn about energy is exciting, and it's a great opportunity. We are a large company that serves 22 million customers and provides natural gas across 6 million meters. So for me, it's been a huge learning curve about what fuels our infrastructure, anything from homes and businesses, and where we even get electricity from, which is mainly from natural gas. And it's also a shifting time, just in general in the energy industry. California is such a progressive state, and I think we're always looking for ways to improve air quality and to make our environment better. And there's a lot of ways to go around doing that. So working for an industry such as natural gas, it's exciting that we're in a time where we're now investing in renewable gas. And few people know about this, and I won't get into the details, but it's super cool that we can capture the waste, the methane from landfills and from dairy farms, which create a ton of greenhouse gas emissions, and put that methane into our pipelines so that the gas we're using is cleaner. And that way people can still continue to cook with gas and heat their homes and keep it affordable and it's abundant. So it's an interesting time to be at the table when we're having these conversations about energy, about the environment, and to be able to have a perspective, but from the community or from folks that like using gas and want to keep it around. Meanwhile, we're also following legislation, whether it's statewide or local, of cities or the state that want to get rid of gas. So it's an interesting time, definitely, to be at the table talking about energy.
My name is Laura Farber, and I'm an attorney at the law firm of Hahn & Hahn. I have been there for most of my career. And this is a firm that's been around a long time. We are, I'm proud to say, a certified woman and minority-owned firm, which only happened over the last several years. It happened organically. I'm an employment lawyer, and I represent both employers and employees in a variety of contexts. And I also do an eclectic mix of civil litigation. So when I have to go to court, I do, but not always. Many times we can resolve matters. I have loved being an attorney, and I've done it, as I said, for I don't want to say exactly how many years, but quite a few years. And before that, I went to Georgetown Law School and UCLA undergrad. I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and came here to this country with my parents. We had to leave. Things were really bad in Argentina. And they left everyone and everything they knew to start a new life here with nothing. They came with nothing, and thank goodness they did, because one thing they believed in strongly was education, and they were able to make sure that we all got that. And here I am. Strong, driven women in my family who never told me that there were limits on what I could achieve or accomplish. We didn't have any lawyers in the family except my grandfather in Argentina, but that was a different time and a different approach and a different system. Everybody else was science, very into science. And my parents both, but mostly my mother, have always stood behind anything I wanted to accomplish. They never said to me, no, I don't think that's within your reach, or no, you shouldn't try that, or no, you shouldn't explore that. And I am convinced that that has made a huge difference in my life. As I've sought out other mentors, of course, but the core of what drove me was my grandmother and my mother. And I hope to do the same for both of my kids.
My name is Maria Castro. I am the Regional External Affairs Manager with Comcast in the Greater Chicago region. External Affairs is just what I call a fancy word for community investment. And at Comcast, we do have service around the country, but here in the Greater Chicago region, which I think is the best region of all, it is extremely important for us to be not just a part of the community, but where we live, we play, we work. it's important for us to really be out there and find out what the needs are in our community. So I'll give you an example. We do a tremendous amount of grant giving to our community partners here. It's usually very underprivileged and very, impoverished areas of Chicago, which there are many, even in the south suburbs and the northern suburbs and things like that. But we also give away scholarships. And so I'm happy to say that this year we do have 70 scholarship winners that will be receiving $2,500 each. And all of them are going on to great universities and colleges and are really, we call it leaders and achievers. So what we ask them to be is a leader and an achiever in their schools and communities. And that's really important to us because there's so many people out there that actually are a 5.0, a 4.0, and they get all of the really great scholarships, right? But in this case, these are the kids who may be a 3.0, and that's the best that they can do. But they are leaders and they are achieving things in their communities and schools. And those are the ones that we're looking for. So I think that the word leaders and achievers really says it, quite frankly, great. And in terms of our grants, we, of course, are a technology company. So we really are trying to bridge that digital divide. And I could not be more proud than I am right now of the things that we're doing within the community to keep these families together and bridge that digital divide. That has been a game changer for all of the people that live in our areas, because it is so important right now with this sheltering in place that kids are able to connect, that families who are working from home are able to connect. And so it's at times like this where you look at what your company is doing and you're not just talking the talk, but you're walking the walk.
Hello, my name is Maria Hall. I'm a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for about 16, 17 years, and I work for myself. I also am the director of the Los Angeles Incubator Consortium, which is a legal incubator to help new solo lawyers work within their own community. If you feel like being a lawyer is something that you could be good at, do it. It has been a great equalizer for me. Having my law license has been the biggest confidence boost, because no matter how smart you are, no matter what education you have, that you're smart, sometimes you still feel the world around you is, you kind of feel an imposter syndrome, like maybe I'm really not good enough to be the one making the really important decisions in this country or in my community. So I think one thing that a law license did for me, and I know it could do for others, is it makes you on the same level as somebody else who went to Harvard, who had all of the privileges given to them. Suddenly you're on the same, they have to argue against you if they're your opposing counsel. They have to call you back. It doesn't matter where you grew up. It's a great equalizer. It's also a great tool for access to influential people, and it's a great tool to have power and assert your own conscience out into the community and have influence on other people who have power.
Hello, my name is Nora Guerra. I'm an affordable lending manager for Freddie Mac, one of the housing GSEs in America. And what I do is I typically travel the West and most of the country, and I present on affordable lending statistics, data, loan programs to help homebuyers get into housing, especially affordable housing. I think it's important that we educate our real estate professionals on minority home buying. The power of the minority dollar in our economy is extremely important, especially when it comes to first-time home buyers. What I'm truly passionate about Freddie Mac is that we have so much data and information, and we've really dug deep into minorities, African-American minority, the Latino home buyer, which by 2025 will be the majority of United States household versus the minority, and our Asian American home buyers. We tend to dive in deep on their challenges to help educate their communities and real estate professionals within that community to be able to support them and help them get into homes.
I'm Rosa Elena Sagun. I'm an attorney and also a community activist. I've been practicing in the Inland Empire since 2002. And one of my main activities is alerting and informing the community against immigration fraud, which is a problem that's very, very prevalent with the immigrant community. And I also help organize and bring issues to the forefront, issues that come close to home. Again, for example, like tax fraud and other areas where the community is very easily taken advantage of. And I've been doing that for years, and it's become a great part of my life. My most recent project as an attorney in the city of Riverside dealt with organizing the community against a fellow attorney that was actually extorting the community. He is now doing 22 years in prison as a result of us organizing and bringing the case to the attention of the district attorney. We had protests outside his office. I was guiding the community so that they would protest in a legal way, but I also tried to bring to everybody's attention the conduct of this attorney so that other businesses that were being targeted could be aware of their rights and they can protect themselves when it came to conduct such as the conduct that was being engaged in by this attorney. Most, if not all, of the victims that we helped organize were Hispanic. All were of immigrant origin. And so for me, these are the issues that are very important, that the community understand that they have rights, that they can stand up for themselves. And really this result of having both the attorney and his co-conspirator both in prison right now are a product of the organization that we were able to engage in with the community.
My name is Susana Mendoza. I am the Illinois State Controller. I'm a proud Latina. My parents are both immigrants from Mexico. My father passed away 25 years ago, but my mom, thankfully, is still very much with us. I am very proud to come from the heritage that I do, to be a strong Latina here in Illinois, and be, frankly, the first Latina or Latino ever elected to statewide office on the Democratic ticket. Was pretty cool. Prior to that, I was the first woman ever elected Chicago City Clerk in the city of Chicago, obviously, the second largest office outside of the mayor's office. And when I was elected to the state legislature back in 2001, at that time, I was the youngest member in that chamber. So all of those things have led me to where I am today as the state controller, the person responsible for managing the state's finances. And if any of you have been keeping track of what's been happening in Illinois, from the moment I took office in 2016 in December, I walked into the worst fiscal crisis in our state's history. It was my job to manage our state successfully through that. We had done that, but unfortunately now with the coronavirus pandemic, it has certainly kicked our state backwards from a financial perspective, which is the same that could be said for all 50 states. But if there's any silver lining is that I have a lot of experience in dealing with financial crisis. And thankfully, I think I'm at the right place at the right time to hopefully get our state through this crisis as well. Afraid to fail. And when you fail, because we all do, get over it. Learn from it. Because failure doesn't define you, it refines you. And you'll never achieve great things if you're afraid to fail. I say this all the time to anyone who will listen, because I think it's perhaps the greatest differentiator between me and someone who doesn't go for it, is that my entire life I've not been afraid to fail, and I've been anything but risk averse. I absolutely believe in taking risks. I absolutely believe in trying. And, if you don't win this time, that's okay. At least you're not going to live the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you had tried. And so I would give that advice, I especially give it to people who are considering running for office, if they're hemming and hawing. I tell them, don't be afraid to fail. That's why people choose not to run for office, because ultimately they're afraid to put themselves out there and to fail. And I think a greater failure is them wanting to do something and not trying.
As you know, I work for the U.S. Small Business Administration, Orange County Inland Empire District Office. We are located in Santa Ana, and we service 3 counties, Orange County, San Bernardino, and Riverside. And these days of the pandemic, and we are providing services to the people that call us sometimes from across the country, from LA, from Las Vegas, from Florida, from Michigan, from Washington State. people just pick up our numbers, our telephone numbers, and they call us and they ask questions. So thank you very much. My daily job consists of promoting the programs and services of the SBA, which consists of counseling and training, access to capital, government contracting, and also talking about the disaster assistance, which is the area that has moved to the forefront during the last few months. And we are spending a lot of our time, like maybe 90% of our time, handling and introducing these programs to the business owners. As you probably know and you have heard about, we have 2 disaster loan programs. Actually, there are 4, but 2 of them are the most important ones that we are talking about, and that is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, the Paycheck Protection Loan Program, and then there is the, I'm sorry about this, and then there is the Bridge Loan Program and the Debt Relief Program. But mostly we're spending a lot of time with the EIDL and the Paycheck Protection Loan Program. That is what I'm doing right now, but mostly what I do most of the time, as you know, Richard, I go out and I give presentations about the SBA programs and services and about how to utilize them, how to take advantage of these programs that have been paid for by the U.S. Small Business Administration, and they are free to the public. So I do a lot of public speaking engagements, and in the last few weeks, I have done a lot of Zoom conferences to talk about our programs, the disaster loan programs, mostly in Spanish and in English, to inform the community about these programs.